You're listening to the Renegade Blitz, the best podcast for Steelers fans by Steelers fans. Follow us on Twitter at Renegade Blitz, at RBlitzPod, and at Blitz Videos. Read articles on RenegadeBlitz.com, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app.
And welcome back to the Renegade Blitz podcast. I'm Polk with Chris Ward and the new Pittsburgh Courier's Brandon Walker. Brandon, you were in the stadium. You got to see that in a way that we haven't had to. So the new thing we're going to do with this podcast, we're going to open it up with your unfiltered thoughts, especially when it comes to the recap, because, well, frankly, you're the actual reporter of the group right now, so you deserve the shine.
Well, Devin Bush, you're off the hook for being my new whipping boy. Matt Canada, you are now the official whipping boy. You are the worst offensive coordinator that this team has ever had. You snaked your way into this organization. You snaked your way on the earth, but you snaked your way into this organization you got people arguing over who's getting touches, the play calling. Everybody on that offense was really trying to hold back from like really throwing them under the bus, but we all got the same sentiments from Freiermuth to Claypool to Mason Cole, everything like that. That is the play calling is just terrible. It's horrible. He needs to take his ass up the road. You heard Snoop Dogg last night that
was actually from Todd Haley, but you could say that was a couple years ago, but it could still apply to Matt Canada.
Yeah, that too. But still, he's
I mean, look, no college really wanted him. Look what happened at LSU.
Who has what college wanted him? Like LSU ran him out of there. I know he coached Maryland for a little while, but the interim coach, but they want him. I don't know. I guess he should not be coaching, no matter who's the quarterback. Even though we're gonna get to Trubisky too, because he's god awful. He's not god awful. I'll walk that back. He is a bad quarterback. I'm sorry. Average. He's a one-read quarterback. You might as well just put that damn near Mason Rudolph in the game. You're going to have a one-read quarterback and don't go down the field. At least Mason Rudolph will go down the field a few times. He don't go down the field at all. They have they got all these stallions at receiver, and they ain't even using them. I'm like, bruh. But overall, when you size this team up, the Patriots are not a fast team. They're not an overly talented team, but they are more talented than even the Steelers right now. Their overall talent level is about, I'd say, between 20 and 25, 1 to 53. I know they have their stars. If they ain't have T.J. Watt, Hayward, Miles Jack, all the receivers, Freiermuth, Najee, which he did not have a good game either. Injured or not, there was holes that he could cut through. He is not hitting those holes, and the line is creating them, though. They are a little bit better at run blocking, but pass blocking, but there is clips that he did not hit the hole at all. And shout out to Mark Cabali from The Athletic for pointing that out on Twitter.
Yeah, he did. There was some holes, like it was been going on throughout Twitter. People were posting clips and everything. But Trubisky, I agree with everything you said about Trubisky about the half read. You saw those rollouts they did, and I don't know. He just seems really timid. Like he's just like, I don't know. Like he has to be feeling that pressure with Pickett right behind him. And you were there, Brandy. Like the crowd, chanting, Kenny Pickett's name. I know Tomlin said that he didn't hear the chants, but I'm sure he did. But he's protecting his quarterback.
He heard him.
Well, the
No,
question.
I know we heard him in the press box. I know they heard him.
Well, the question of the day is this: was it worth getting Mitch Trubisky if it was going to end up like this? I mean, the one thing I'll say about Mason Rudolph, he's got metal. It felt like Trubisky at times crumbled, especially after the chance came through. I think sometimes you just have to throw a guy out there that has absolutely nothing to lose, and that was Mason Rudolph. So maybe in a way, the Steelers made the wrong pick in terms of investing the money on there. I was always of mine saying it should have been Marcus Mariota. I was fine with Trubisky because it was one of the two. But when you look at it like this,
go ahead, Ty.
When you look at it like this, the second Kenny Pickett got picked up, and I feel this organization should have known it, there was going to be absolutely no way that the Steelers, they could have picked up Pickett further back if they wanted to, and it'd still be the same way, just because a vast majority of Steelers fans in this town could easily switch their TVs on, and if the game wasn't on the ACC network, they could listen to the radio, and they knew it. Pickett had the stuff for them. It's the reason why Pitt had its best season. And I just look at it like this. You can argue that the Steelers have put two quarterbacks in a less than ideal situation, especially now with Trubisky. Honestly, that man, yeah, I don't think he's necessarily the right thing, but I'm willing to give him one final shot, and it's this Thursday against Cleveland.
Yeah, me too. Okay, but I don't know if Pickett is good enough either, and I'm gonna tell you why. I know I'm plugging Penn State a little bit, but give me a thing. If he played 6 years in college, I say during a game, Penn State game, I know you guys were watching the backyard brawl. I had to watch the Penn State because I covered Penn State for Nicky Sports.
I caught that. Don't worry.
No. This during the game. He was like, Joe Clapp. He was like, if you're a veteran quarterback, that means you were not good enough to leave. And it took him 6 years. He went into college 6 years. That means he was not good enough to that point up until last year to get into the NFL. You get what I'm saying? Like, so what makes you think he's going to be that great and be the savior that the Pittsburgh Steelers need? Number two.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was a concern coming out with his age and stuff. I mean, people compare it to Joe Burrow because he's probably the best quarterback that's come out that late recently. But I don't know. He looked good in the preseason, but I mean, it's hard to really gauge from preseason. I mean, regular season is just a whole different story. But I mean, it'd be interesting. I agree with you guys. I think one last shot for Trubisky here, week 3 in Cleveland, and that's what I said before the season. I think I circled that Jets game in week 4, kind of like that long, like a mini bye a week after that Thursday night game, and I will have to see how Trubisky does. But I could see Tomlin. Tomlin say he's not he's not saying anything yet, but I could see that potentially being when Pickett starts.
But how do you name somebody as team captain if you're going to bench him after 3 games?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, but I mean, I'm sure Tomlin's not going to cave into what people are saying on Twitter or the crowd. But I mean, I don't know that all. What was he going to get rid of Canada? Yeah, I mean,
they need to get rid of him. He was barely good enough to be that baffled me. Who's this? Was that a Ben decision? So he would have his guy and have a guy that he could walk all over again, just like Fiedler?
Here was the situation with it. It's the same thing with the Steelers as always. They have a guy in waiting. They always have a guy in the holster waiting for it to come up. Matt Canada was viewed as a good pick because he was a guy that had moderate college success and almost similar to Kenny Pickett, he was successful at Pitt. That was one of the things. But Canada was a moderately successful offensive coordinator in college, created some interesting gadgets out there with that. He made James Conner into an NFL player, at least an NFL caliber prospect at one point. Nathan Peterman, for who everyone gets on about being maybe the worst quarterback that has come out of any draft at any point in the draft in the last 15 years. He made sure that guy somehow got a job somewhere. So a lot of people were pointing at this. He can scheme out quarterbacks with that. But I'm going to, as I finish this, I say this right now. The Steelers are attacking the same way. It's like as if Ben was still there. And they have a guy that at least has shown occasionally some arm, but you also have to credit it to the Patriots. I mean, Chris, you had the tweet in the group chat that Evan Lazar had. The Patriots made Mitch Trubisky a pocket quarterback and said, we are going to take away your legs. And it worked.
Yeah. Pretty much everything Evan said about, like, we all thought it was going to be a defensive game. I mean, that was like a no-brainer the way the two offenses were playing. But, I mean, like he said, he couldn't see Belichick losing to Trubisky. And, I mean, it's not like a crazy thought. I mean, but like he tweeted, like they kept him in the pocket. And, Brandon, I tweeted late last night. I said that was a vintage Bill Belichick coaching performance. The way they closed that game out, the way they played defense, the run game. They love running power football. And Matt Patricia actually called a pretty good game. I know there was concern, and he's the offensive line coach too. And the Steelers had 0 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. I mean, that's another area we could talk about. It's just like they're 0-5 now without T.J. Watt. It was you felt that presence wasn't there on Sunday.
Okay, now, yes, they did not allow 3. They did not get any pressure on the quarterback. They did not. You could tell the difference with what makes. Alex Highsmith had 3 sacks on last Sunday, but he had like made a tackle for loss, but 3 sacks. You didn't hear much from him. Like, they ran for. Let me check. I got this. Give me a second. They ran for 4 yards a carry. So that is still not ideal. Wait, ran for about 124 yards. But you could tell this is an ordinary, average, below average roster that needs like, this is an organization. Honestly, this is an organizational loss because I'm going to tell you why. They treat this like not having a losing season like it's the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania.
That's a good closeout before his connection closed out on him. But that really is a valid point right there.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I'd like to say that, look, you have an opportunity to dance, and that's a great thing. You want to be able to have the shot to say, at any point, someone can grab your hand and say, let's get on the dance floor and see what we got. But the problem is, if it's not viable, if nothing comes out of it, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You're better off just sitting on the wall. But I guess we play flip-flop with this all the time, and when it's going good, it's going great. When it's not, it's situations like this where the team just feels like there's nothing going on. Brandon, I want you to continue your thought from saying that it was like the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. That was a good analogy.
Yes, like it is. Like they treat it like they have not won a playoffs game since 2016. They have not went to the Super Bowl since 2010. They haven't won. 2008 it's been what, 3 presidents ago? Come on, bro. Like I count Bush as the president of record since I know they won the Super Bowl while Obama was just first in office. But
we get what you mean. The season started with Bush and ended with Obama. We get what you mean.
Yes. Yeah. So it was Bush, Obama, Trump. Now, it's 3 presidents ago. So they need to get over that. They need to just rebuild. I know they don't like to say rebuild and do all that. Well, if you got to eat a 5 and 12 season, 6 and 11 season, just do it for the best. You see the team across the block from them yesterday, they did it. They feel that it's like, this ain't it. Whatever we got ain't it. So we got to find the answer, rebuild the team, and then they got back into the playoffs.
Do you think
so? You got to figure out what.
Let me ask you this. So again, we're in Pittsburgh, where we have seen every shades of rebuild when it came to the Penguins, to what the Pirates are right now. Now, the difference between then, there was no lying to us when the Penguins were bad. They were bad. They needed to tank. The Pirates are bad. They needed to tank, but they also tried to lie to us at the same time and say, no, everything's fine, when clearly it wasn't. That's most of the organizational bad will with it. Could the Steelers survive if they outright say right now, and outright tears falling down their face, snot coming out of their nose, saying, we're not a good team, we need to rebuild now? Would the fans accept that? That's the question.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. Like, you need to. I think they should have rebuilt a while ago. I thought they should have gotten rid of Ben 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Longer than they did.
You know, when the time to tank was, like, talking about rebuilding, it was when they traded for Minka, when Ben went out, when he got injured in 2019.
That would have been a good time.
Right in there.
But I think everyone and their mother was convinced at the time. And Brandon, as much as you want to say that it was 3 years ago time, I'm willing to bet if I go back and hop into Cordova and go in the time machine and say, you'd probably would say, yeah, let's see what Ben's got. That was the one thing. We knew that it was a last ride situation. The problem is, I think it just stuck around too long with it. And now the offensive coordinator's in a state of, I don't know what to do. This is what I've been used to the entire time, and it kind of works, so let's keep on going. Nothing's working right now offensively with this team, and basically, when it comes to the defense, yeah, they're going to go out there and make the splash plays, but if you can't capitalize on them, or if you have to run them back to the house yourself, more than likely, it's not going to be a success that lasts long.
No. I'm sorry. You have to build, you need depth. Offensive line, defensive line depth, and then also personnel decisions. You guys are making half-ass decisions online, hoping that Dan Moore's develops, hoping that Kendrick Green develops, hoping that Kevin Dotson takes the next step. You overpaid Chucks. Ain't nobody Chris, who was going to give him $9 million on the open market?
I mean, he played a good game yesterday, but I mean, I did at when it happened, I thought it was a little bit too high. I mean, where they really messed up was that Kendrick Green. I mean, that's a 3rd round pick, and he's inactive, and he's healthy and everything, so they're not even playing him. So, yeah, I mean, the offensive line's been struggling. I mean, as you mentioned, Brandon, that Najee, he's not hitting the proper holes too. So, I mean, the whole offense is just a mess right now, and they're not throwing the ball down the field and not using the middle part either. So, I really don't know what they could do right now. They're limited at quarterback. I don't know what the answer is.
They don't have the answer is to put Pickett in, see, and let go and let God this year, and then hope you get better lined up next year. And also, by the way, what they are trading not premium picks. They only have 5 picks this year, this coming draft.
Yeah,
they traded for Akilo Weatherspoon, average player. Malik Reed, average player. I don't know what they did with the other pick. I forgot. I think they traded another one, but they only have 5 picks this coming year. So that's why I said you could have traded Claypool for a couple picks, or to replenish that draft because you need players. They don't have enough of them to make an impact. And it seems like another thing I was going to say is it seems like the Steelers' standard has slipped. And it's been slipping for years. It seems like they're almost happy going 9-8. I was going to get to the point. They were kind of almost satisfied with going 9-8, maybe going to the playoffs, fighting for that last wild card spot, just to get dog walked by the Bills, who, as we speak, are dog walking the Tennessee Titans right now, 41-7.
And meanwhile, they're about to put in Malik Willis, who they, when it turns out, they probably could have got in the third round, maybe even waited,
and they could have drafted him. Yeah, they could have drafted him.
I look at it like this with this team: if they do decide to tank, I have confidence in this organization that it's not even gonna be that bad. It's not like it's not even crazy. Like, seriously, when you take a look at the Steelers' faults, one bad year, just like how it usually is, and as long as they make the correct organizational moves and stuff like that, and they're willing to get younger just about everywhere on this and just say, all right, guys, just go out there and prove something. This team could end up in a better position this time next year. That's the crazy thing about this team. It's weird how I have this confidence in them, but it's just that, man, if they do the right thing, they don't even have to tank for 2 years like Cincinnati. They could do it in one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get 1 year, and then maybe this year, and it may be two. This year you could go.
Maybe don't need two in this.
They could go 5-2. We're not talking about 3-14 bad. Oh, they're not that bad, but they're like their talent level suggested they're about a 5 to 7 win team.
So it's gonna be a fighting 5-7 win team.
That's what I mean.
Team that's gonna sit there and take it.
No, they ain't gonna sit there and take it. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta go down, take a couple steps forward to make a few steps back. You need that left tackle. That's premium. You need a premium shutdown corner, which we have not had since Rod Woodson.
Can I just say this tweet right now that's in there, because we can't obviously get tweets because of StreamYard. Jeremy Nelson at JerNelson13 said, "You are dreaming if you think replacing Canada would solve anything. We're not dreaming about replacing him, but he's one of the things that might have to go in this situation. There's a lot that needs to be changed with this team in terms of it.
Let me ask Jeremy this.
Would work.
Let me ask Jeremy this. See, does Jeremy think he's the solution? If he is, he's out of his wits.
That's a interesting point, because I've heard people say the opposite, where like, oh, you think benching Trubisky is going to change anything because they think Canada's the problem. So like, this has like been the back and forth thing all day.
Well, it don't matter, but I'm just saying, y'all want to just go and be. Y'all just want to get them just to be 9-8. Is that the standard for the Steelers right now? 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, I remember even on this podcast, we weren't really that thrilled when they hired or they promoted Matt Canada, because he was a quarterbacks coach before. Like, I tweeted this today. I was like, I feel like the Steelers are behind the rest of the league when it comes to offensive schematics. And Tomlin's a defensive-minded coach. And you look at the last two coordinators; they were both promotions from within. So Randy Fichtner and Matt Canada. So like, that's what I think right now. I think they're like behind the 8 ball on offense, because like they haven't had a good offense really since 2018 when they had Ben and AB, who were like still in their prime then. But the last couple of years have been.
You can argue they weren't really a good offense then. It was just that they had high-end talent.
Yeah,
it's like how this defense is right now.
Yeah,
There's no problem with having high-end talent. The problem is just the rest of the pieces around it has got to make something happen. This team has pretty good talent at the receiver position. When it's all said and done with the running back position and what Najee could be, they have good talent there. The question is, it's at the heads. It's at the eyes. What else can this team do in that situation? What else can we get out of that? Can we get something that's at least good? Because it feels that if this team is healthy, something good might get them one playoff win. One. I don't even think there's really Super Bowl thoughts or anything like that, as much as we want to be pie in the sky, everything's all good like it's 2020 before the entire wheel fell off. But
Like,
I'm just wanting at least something there that says like they can make it to the wild card one week and they'll be playing in the divisional the next week. I'm pretty sure everybody in Pittsburgh, unless it's like, you know, the hardcore, he's gotta go Yinzer. I just want something.
We talking about Canada?
No, well, you know,
talking...
I'm talking about the guy at the top as well, but yeah, probably that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
look, this is the thing. Canada sucks. He needs to go. He needs to get out of here. I think it was that pick connection. This is the thing about the Steelers. They're going by these old mom and pop, rich mom and pop principles when the rest of the league is starting to go corporate America. You know what I mean?
Brandon, you turned into Colin Coward there. That was like a Coward analogy.
That really was.
No, it is. They're a mom and pop. It's a mom and pop, and everybody else is starting to get like. It's like you gotta start. Mike Tomlin needs to hire somebody on offense that's smarter, that knows more about offense, smarter about offense, knows what he's doing on offense. So Tomlin get out of the. I mean, he's not. I don't know how involved in the offense he really is, but get out of it. The offense be his baby, their baby, and so he can develop Pickett, develop the offense, have somebody has an offensive line scheme that can work. Because this ain't working. This obviously is not working at all, and it ain't gonna work. And it's not gonna work with Trubisky. He's a borderline back, and they want to keep him around for what? You wasted about $15 million. It's burnt. You could have spent that on a lineman. You could have spent that on a corner. And they need to stop being like so cheap and doing stuff half-ass. You're going to invest on the line, invest in the line fully. First round pick and everything. First round pick and get somebody like a Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah,
that's how you
screaming
do it.
at
You want
this
to throw
team
money into some.
I've been screaming at this team like, Chris, you were on this podcast before, and I mentioned the last time the Steelers spent first round draft pick on a tackle. You have to go back to the 1950s, the 50s. So it's through the steel curtain, through the re-rise of the team in the 90s, through Ben Roethlisberger's era. To now. And they never drafted an offensive tackle. They'll go interior of the offensive line for the first round draft pick. And you want to know something? That's totally fine. If it comes to everything, I'd rather have a quarterback that at least knows that a guy's not going to come up right in his face, and all he has to do is that if he gets lucky, step up or shrug him off like Ben Roethlisberger did.
Yeah. You know what I've been hearing a lot on Twitter today, because bringing up not investing in offensive linemen and stuff. Yeah, I've seen a good amount of fans saying that they messed up with that Najee pick in the first round. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? You think that's a little too harsh? Like, I even seen one guy who's pretty credible said, like, he didn't say it like for sure, but like he was worried, or he's like I don't know how to word. Like, he didn't say he's for sure this way, but like. He's hoping that he's not like Trent Richardson, which was pretty. I was blown away when I was.
That's bad. That's rough.
That's not even something that I would put on it. Now look, do I not like that the fact that every other highlight I see with Najee Harris is a hurdle? Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I gotta give him credit for his gusto. At least he's out there being something that's reliable. Trent Richardson was never a good NFL running back in any stretch of the mind.
Right.
If I'm willing to look at his stats right now, I'm willing to bet a high sum. Matter of fact, I'm going to go check it now. He didn't even reach 800 yards in a season.
Yeah, I'm looking for
No,
that.
he reached 900 his rookie year. He reached 900 his rookie year. But, however, as much they should have used it on a lineman. They should have used it on a corner. You had good corners, good linemen. You could get Earl Mitchell from San Francisco. Went 6th round. You could get a running back. Hell, Jalen Warren went undrafted. You can find running backs when you're in the draft.
I found the tweet too. It's from Scott Kajamar. I think that's how you say his last name. But he's a writer for NFL. He's an NFL analyst. He's really good too. He has a lot of good stuff. But it was the play where they showed where Najee Harris missed the cutback on one of the runs, and he said, this was the tweet from him. He said, very first play of the game, he got 1 yard and run that I swear any RB1 gains 3 to 5 yards easily. Either he's hurt worse than we know, or maybe he's got that Trent Richardson dog in him. That's what he said. And when I saw Trent Richardson's name mentioned with Najee Harris, I was pretty taken back.
I would never put that. I would never even put that on there. I think the more viable, if you want to do that, is probably Eddie Lacy, because at least Eddie Lacy was a good running back at one point in this league. Trent Richardson, yeah, he had a good rookie season out in Cleveland, but that man, you want to know what he's doing right now? He's playing professional football in Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't think Najee Harris is going to be playing professional football in Mexico at any stretch. He's at the very least someone's RB2. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that, because that man's too talented and he's too big. He could reinvent himself as a goal line threat if he wanted to.
Yeah, I like Najee a lot too. So I hope he, it could be an injury issue. So if it is, that's totally, thrown out the way he's been playing. But he needs to make, the reads that he's been making are a little bit concerning and stuff. But I think it's a little bit too harsh, some of the criticism that I've seen on him.
Jeremy Nelson said this: it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is, as long as the line is this bad, nothing will change. They actually did pretty well yesterday.
They did. They did not. It's the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. The quarterback needs to know when to pull the trigger.
How many of those sacks were covered sacks? He tried to turn away from a defensive end on the sideline and try to reverse back into the play. Now, in situations like that, if you're behind the line and you're running towards the sideline and no one's open, just run out.
Yeah.
Just run out, or unless you have once in a generation, and I'm talking Mike Vick, Lamar Jackson type agility, in which you could turn that around, fine. Make that play, but Mitch Trubisky, even on your best day as a runner, you're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, I think he said that both the sacks that he said that was on him. Yeah, that's the thing. He had one against Cincinnati too, where he kind of should have got rid of the ball, and it wasn't really on the offensive line. But yeah, I thought the offensive line did pretty good. The run blocking, as we mentioned, Harris maybe not hitting the holes and stuff, but. They actually did. They didn't do too bad as that Jacksonville preseason game. I was like, my God, this offensive line might be a disaster.
It's not. It's still the worst offensive line in the football.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's still not very good, but
yeah, it's not a good offensive line by any stretch of the imagination. But compared to what the Herculean task they had, I mean, granted, New England's pass rushes and all that's special, but still. You're just expected to at least sit there and maybe look in there and fire a dart somewhere. And it seemed like they were capable of doing that. The problem was, again, nobody wants to attack the middle of the field in this offense. Yeah. Where has it gone? It's like, I think people accepted that with Ben Roethlisberger because of his arm strength, or at least his arm deteriorated. This, excuse me. Sorry, a little bit of a coughing fit. This wasn't something like this. This was still a solidly capable NFL arm.
Yeah.
Against a team that, at least with a secondary that yeah, it's pretty good. A linebacker set that's pretty good, but I think that was attackable if something was done. If something was done, at the very least, the underneath routes that were a commonplace in 2020 after everybody figured out how to do with Ben Roethlisberger, it could have been catch and run situations at the very least, or maybe they really needed someone to be that juju hard charger that says, I don't care if you're on me, I'm going to make this catch and at least get 7 out of it or something.
You have that guy. His name is George Pickens. They don't throw him the daggone ball.
Only 2 receptions this year so far, and
two receptions. He got 3 targets last night.
Yeah, that 23-yard reception he had, that was the longest completion that Trubisky had all game. So yeah, like Charles Davis mentioned during the game, he said like the Steelers play small ball. So yeah, like if they can't stretch the field, like they're going to be in a like it's going to happen every week. Like it doesn't matter what defense they play unless they're like really bad, like just completely, a disastrous defense.
I want to move on while we have at least all this stuff. In terms of it, I look at the defense and I go, I know you wanted to say Ahkello Witherspoon isn't exactly a good corner. Let's just face it and give props right there. Nelson Aguilar made a play.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He made a play. He made a play. I know that his hands come and go every year, but that's the type of thing that makes that guy that was talking all that talk in Philadelphia go, okay. That was the immediate thought. I was like, all right, you're underneath this ball. There's no chance. At the very least, if he puts hands on it, he's jarring it. He just said, give me that, and scored.
Yeah, that's one thing that surprised me. Like I didn't expect Aguilar to go over 100 yards receiving and have a 44-yard touchdown pass.
I mean, that's Nelson Aguilar to a T. As someone that followed a little bit with the Eagles because of people that we knew in Point Park, and always because it's the other side of the state and we don't see them often. So why not?
I mean, fans always ripped him for his hands and everything.
He had, like, the Eagles Super Bowl year was a year that he caught. The year after that, he wasn't any good. New England, he was kind of meh. He did pretty well in Vegas that one year, but every year that his hands, he goes from having hands to being Orochimaru from Naruto. Where are my hands? Right. That's exactly how it is with him.
Yeah, and it's like hot and cold, in and out. But that was a mossing. But other than that, the defense played well enough to win. Besides not having getting any pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, they only got 17 points, and that was the turning point play. With Aguilar with the 44-yard touchdown reception, but. Another huge play that we haven't got to this yet, but the Olszewski, the muff.
That gave him 7 free points. I was like,
yeah,
oh, come on, you got to catch that.
That's feasible for any punt returner. Any punt returner in this league, you got to make those. You got to make those. Those are got to be sure. Because the second that hits off your body, and with that. I think a muff is the most likely thing that a defense can recover from.
Yeah, right.
Anything, that's the most likely thing that the opposing team can recover. Not an onside kick, not even jarring the ball loose. That is the highest percentage of the play continuing on in the offense heading right back on that field like they never left.
He's a former Patriot too, and he was saying before in the week leading up to it, saying about how the Patriots are like the X, and it never feels good when you're not wanted back. And I mean, I don't know if that was the play that made the difference because the offense had its issues, but I mean that was like Tomlin even mentioned after the game that play and the Witherspoon touchdown given up were huge plays in the game. And the Steelers actually had 10 players on the field on that muff punt too.
Wow. You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the thing why they cannot beat New England, because New England always, even if they're not as great as they used to be, they always have their together.
Yeah, the gunner was free. I mean, Gunner should Olszewski, the other gunner.
No, we get what you mean.
Did the Patriots gunner, because it looked like it was like, yeah, because I didn't know they had 10 either, and so it just like it would seem like it was just one guy just on Olszewski.
Yeah, he was in his area.
In his face. It was like it was more. I was like, it was. Then I thought about it. You see, this is the things I'm talking about. The Steelers do not play on. They still play weird, undisciplined type football, and in years past they depend on that. They do that, and you expect Ben and the high end talent to bail them out, but they can't do that. But now they're not afforded that opportunity right now because TJ Watt is hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's now think about what we're gonna do for the rest of this week. I mean, guys, we basically have agreed that look, it's a short week. Let's just get it over. We'll also do a mini preview as well with it. For all the warts about this entire thing, the Steelers are still tied for first place. Yay. I guess that's just how it is. But they go against the Cleveland Browns, of course, without Deshaun Watson and having Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. This is still a game that I just go on a short week. Everyone's pretty miffed at the entire situation. You still go, man, if you just had confidence in that offense, you would go, yeah, Steelers win. It's a wash. It really is. It's a toss-up in every sense of the word.
And also,
both teams are coming in with basically, they got everything in the world to prove.
Yeah, but both of them, because Cleveland just blew a game too. So
yeah,
they really blew a game.
Yeah.
They blew it. And so it's going to be tough. I'm guessing we're going to do this pretty quickly here because we're probably not going to have a guy to have us have on. But Cleveland's has a little bit better of a better roster, and they're at home. So I don't know. I can't. I would love to pick. I would like to pick Cleveland, but I mean the Steelers. But I ain't ready to go there right this minute. So I'm gonna say Cleveland wins about another sloz of a game, 20-17 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean they did end up losing to Joe Flacco, who's like 37 years old, but Chubb had a great game. He had 3 touchdowns. Brissett, I haven't really looked at his stats or anything, but it seems like, I mean, they put up 30 points. I mean, and they just blew the game, the onside kick and everything. They couldn't recover. But, I'm worried about that, the short week, Thursday night in Cleveland. You know what happened last time they played on Thursday night football at Cleveland too. So, I mean, it's tough. They lost last year on Thursday night football too. Also the Vikings, but I'm trying to think 2020. I don't know if they played on. Well, they had that Thanksgiving Day game that got canceled because of the COVID, and then they moved it to like Wednesday afternoon. So, so I'm just worried about that short week, and I don't know what the offense. Like I said, I don't know what the answer is. I think they're in a tough spot with Matt Canada because I think he's, I don't think he's really the best fit as an NFL offensive coordinator. But I would say I think it's going to be a ugly game, low scoring, and I won't say the Browns win by 1 point, 17-16.
Well, I say there's going to be some Amazon Prime offense because I don't know what it is. I'm just expecting that someone's going to have an offensive explosion, but I don't really believe it. So thus, I'm probably going to stay around with you guys. I'm honestly going to say that this is Cleveland's offense actually can do something. It's just the problem that the defense decided to let the ghost of Joe Flacco to come back from 2008 and 2012 to go run roughshod. Do I expect the ghost of Mitch Trubisky from that 6 TD game against the Chicago with the Chicago Bears to come out of nowhere, I'm not exactly counting on it. So, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I'm honestly going to say 13-9 Steelers.
So you got the Steelers winning?
I think that I'm just gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice today.
I'm 0-2 so far this year, so if I pick Cleveland, maybe the Steelers will win. I'll go 0-3 on my predictions.
I don't really care about that. I mean,
I know.
it just feels like this is gonna be like the worst possible offensive game out of it all. And I look at both sides and I go, the Steelers have all the talent on offense except for the quarterback. The Browns have talent as well. It's just the quarterback's less than ideal. It's a quarterback league. And
stopping the run, obviously, with Chubb and Hunt, like that's the, their bread and butter in Cleveland.
Excuse me while I upgrade this to like 14-12.
14-12?
Yeah.
14-12.
Yeah. 4 field goals.
13-9 kind of stink. I know that you was thinking about Pitt when it comes to 13-9.
I mean,
13-9.
that would be a very nice Christmas present for me in terms of this, but I'm willing to bet the 9 would be the Steelers in that situation, but I don't know. They're going to have to scrounge together a defensive touchdown, and I think they do that at one point. So that's why I go 14-12. I think for some reason this defense is going to go, all right, you guys can't do anything, so we're going to do everything. And we're going to have a classic circa 2019 Steelers game.
Maybe another Minka pick six, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that. He's got to. By the way, for the record, you said cover one robber when he had that one interception 2 years ago. The correct term is cover one lurk, but that's.
I remember I could have said it.
Robbers for short. Robbers for the strong safety, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago, so I know we had Burns on and he broke that play down.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We could have had him on there, but I think it's just that. Let's get a break, guys. Let's just go.
Yeah, it's tough on us.
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on in our lives as well, but regardless, thank you for listening to, I guess, the as I hiccup on air, I guess this is our Doomsday podcast for the year. Probably gonna have another 2, but that's just how it is, guys.
Yeah, this offense is not a pretty sight. It's been an issue really since the back half of 2020. So it's been an issue for a long time. And like we said during the podcast, I think they need to reevaluate their offensive schematics and bring some fresh new ideas in.
I'm gonna need new ideas come through before you realize that it's just gonna end up being the same old ish.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's going to be the same old ish. You need to get rid of them. The Steelers don't fire coaches, remember? They retire, or hopefully his contract conveniently expires after the year.
That's the term they use as a contract.
Yeah, they do the old Goodfellas thing.
Yeah.
They
or the Tony Khan.
They give you the euphoria, you know what I mean? Like, suddenly, this person will not be returning back for season 3. That's how you expect it for the Steelers. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think he's going anywhere. And there's been a lot of people saying that there's going to be no changes really to the Steelers' offense. And I'm like, well, yeah. They basically that's the rule. That's the rule of thumb in this league. Whatever you did during training camp, you're going to do it until the wheels fall off. Yeah. You're just hoping that more often than not the wheels don't fall off sooner. But yeah.
Man, they fell off and they rolling down halfway down the hill, down the cow dung, down the horses, the horse hay and all that stuff. Man, them wheels fell off, man. You see, he needs to just go. He needs to be up the road. Get rid of him. He's done. Stick a fork in him. It was one thing when you had
you could go join Todd Helton down in Georgia Southern or something like that.
Yeah, it's Clay Helton, but yeah.
Whatever.
Join him down there.
I'd rather he beat Todd Helton.
So what? He beat Todd Helton. Clay Helton.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway,
that's a nicer Helton for me.
To be honest, I think he doesn't the pass route combinations and stuff. I think that's his biggest issue, really, because you look at his college success, it was kind of like gimmicky, he'll shift motions and stuff. They do the jet sweep and sometimes works. I don't know if he has the greatest experience when it comes to route combinations and stuff like that.
Then why would you hire him?
I don't know.
Because of the pick action? They need to do away with that. You see, I think they messed up with the cricket pit doing that type of stuff. They need to start get local and do all that and beat Rangers and satisfy the Rangers and all that stuff. No.
So you think
to behave?
So you think?
No, I am. Hold on. Come again?
I think he's cutting again, but it's a
so,
perfect time before we keep on circling back the wagons as it is.
Yeah, I get the impression Brandon's that he thinks there's too much nepotism in the Steelers organization.
Hey, it worked really good for that one game against the Eagles in which Claypool went off. So hey, you never know. It's a strange league. He could have 15 touchdowns against the Browns on Thursday, and we love him again. We'll find out on the next episode as the Steelers turn, or whatever your name tree called it. But that's all for
Days
us.
of our Steelers.
Days of our Steelers. I'm sorry. I got a headache. I'm thinking too much, guys. That's Chris Ward. That's the Pittsburgh Courier's Brandon Walker. I'm Ty Polk. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you after the Browns game.
Thank you for listening to the Renegade Blitz podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Renegade Blitz, at @RBlitzPod, and at Blitz Videos. Read articles on RenegadeBlitz.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. The Renegade Blitz podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else you can listen to podcasts.